Good morning. Greetings from the Institute of Global Society. Greetings from the Institute of Global Society. Thank you all for joining us and listening to this program. Honorable knowledge is provided most of the morning. My name is Abhi and from Bangladesh. Being knowledge is a time practice with digital education, non-profit organization is a social and IT certificate, intellectual, education, and general studies. The last year, we have released 35 million analysis from 100 plus countries, international business and global activities. We're connected to more than 450 plus professionals total in Bhutan plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional Science and IIT members in all 2015, 2018, 2018 with the training facility for skill development, research funding, global program. This training from the business to implement the global development of professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professionals is an institutional institute that focuses on global business and development, science, business and community research, programming, medicine, leadership, politics, social and regulation. It is a national institute and countries organization. It provides leadership training and communication design position directly knowledgeable. We provide services providing professional and leadership excellence, workplace opportunities and also providing research campus solution systems and client services. We are an operational educational institute. Agility is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our mission is education of knowledge and excellence is a part of our human life. Based on the human practices, all content is learning. कौन लिखती को बोला ना
Good morning. Greetings from the professional Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable knowledge seeker, today I am your host for the morning. My name is Badhan Dash. I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In last 3 years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. In Institute of Global Professional, IGP is a training faculty for skill development, which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by offering formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, national, international to student job seeker, job holder, and also for learner the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is sorry. Our vision is education is not a business product; it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we're trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar courses, awards, seminar, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free like their own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and one knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game, website, free course, convert sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by global renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering best quality service and improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1608 webinars successfully. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1608 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well-wisher, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. So create your account for once with profile information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy all the features. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. Who replace Slido? You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download your certificate of speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, then you can download your certificate of gratitude. If you are an IGP online quiz competition winner, then you can download your certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in an award function which organized combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 18 types of instant certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influencer in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2021, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trend in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Upskilling Organization Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research and Comprehension Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching, a special program in the art, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Tools in Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1000 plus international level quiz with verified e-certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, gamification tools for teacher. You can join IGP Alumni. You can check out our 50 plus premium services website for free and many more. Dear IGP Well-wisher, we promised previously, but lack of technical issue, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous credential. We solved all issues from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check your dashboard for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to check all button and pages on our website. Surely I can say you benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or logged in, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we are going to start our 1609 program, which name is Faith in Multitasking Task. And today our speaker ma'am name is Anna Mai Badayas Musaran. She is from Philippines. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker ma'am, I must share a very little bit about her. Teacher to School Division of Iloilo, Barota Bayazo National High School, Baratak. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm supposed to present or to share my slide, but I'm having this difficulty because the file is too large to share. But now I'm
Yes, ma'am.
already able to make it.
Yes, ma'am. You can share your presentation. To share your presentation, first you have to go present. In the below there is option present.
Yes, but that I can't because the Google here told me that the file is too large to share. Or perhaps I can share
I
it
can share it
in a Google
in a
slide.
Google slide.
Okay. So
So
let
let
me
me
try
try
this
this
way.
way.
Ma'am, are you uploading your slide?
What other
What other
option can we
option can
make?
we make?
Or
Or
perhaps
perhaps
it says
it says
here that the
here
file
that
is
the
too
file is
large
too
to
large to
share.
share.
Ma'am, to present your slide, first you have to go present. Then you have to click on slides. Then you have to click on your computer. Then you have to upload your file where it's located from your computer. Then we can able to see your presentation.
Okay, okay, okay. I'll try.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, I'll
ma'am.
try.
Yes, ma'am. Take your time. I'm with you. Take your time.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm, 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 mm. Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you wait for this.
I'll let you wait for this.
Okay. So it says here, please
Okay.
choose
So
a
it says
smaller
here, please
file.
choose a
The
smaller
size limit is
file.
50
The
MB.
size limit is 50
Ma'am,
MB.
your
Oh, I
voice
guess
is
I.
not clear.
Oh, I guess I.
From your side, there is some noise. We can't hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay.
The
Um,
file. It says
the
here that
file. It says
it is
here
too
that it
large.
is
It's
too
more than
large.
50
It's more than
MB.
50 MB.
I'll try
I'll try
again.
again.
Ma'am, actually, you are logged in from two devices. That's why your voice is not clear. So please mute one device and just unmute the device from which you want to talk with us. For two devices,
Okay.
it's very clumsy to hear you. We can't hear you properly. Your sound sometimes is breaking or sometimes is not clear like that.
I'm
Please mute
sorry.
one device. Which one you are
Okay.
not using to
How about that,
talk with
ma'am?
us?
Hello. How about now?
Ma'am, actually your voice is not clear. Are you presenting your presentation?
Okay. I'm okay. I try to transfer here a bit. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Will that be
Yes, ma'am. Now
okay?
I can hear you
Will that be
properly.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
But I have this problem that
But I have this problem that
as I share my
as
slide,
I share my slide,
it says here, please choose a
it says
smaller
here, please choose
file.
a smaller file.
The size limit is
The
50
size limit
Is
MB.
is
there any
50
video in
MB.
your slides?
I don't have a
I
video in
don't
my
have a video
slide.
in my slide.
It's
It's
just
just the
and
slide and
pictures.
pictures.
Mm, I- ma'am, if you
Hmm.
facing
I'll
some
try
problem
I'll
to
try
I'll try
upload
another
your
another
slide,
way.
then you
way.
can continue the presentation without slides. Are you want to
Pardon,
continue the
ma'am.
presentation without slides?
Um, maybe if perhaps if you can do a favor for me to share there.
Yes, ma'am. Then you have to send the file in the WhatsApp. Please send us the file in the WhatsApp. We will share for you.
Okay, please, I'll okay. Please share the. Can I send it in your email now in a private chat? Your email, ma'am, so I can email my slide. Okay, again, so I'm very sorry for having this technical issue here. Um, Actually, this is my first time in using the StreamYard to share my topic with you. So I apologize for this technical issue we're having now. Egg storm in our country, and and we have this difficulty in some signals. Okay. Hello. Okay. So for a moment, I am apologize for maybe in just a minute I can share with you the screen with the help of this team. Okay, so again, well, I did now. I already sent my presentation. Okay, so while the team is fixing my presentation to share here, I mean to share here live with you. Let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who attended now in today's topic, faith in multitasking tasks. Will be taught by yours truly. So I'm so happy for this opportunity given by IGP to be your speaker today. So you may wonder what faith in multitasking task is all about. So do I have faith in my multitasking? Why did I use both multitasking and task here? So you will be able to find out later everything. Okay, so sit back and relax and let me share with you things that I have learned in experience over the years that may be able to help you as well. Or perhaps you know this already. Nevertheless, somehow through this, it might give you tips, hints, or ways that might be helpful as you work and do task switch or switch tasks, just like me. Okay. So again, I am Ana May Dusaran from Barotac Viejo National High School. Okay, so later am going to introduce myself further for this. So for the adjectives, at the end of the session, my dear attendees, you will be able to define what is task, multitasking, or yes, define what task and multitasking are, understand what faith is, and gain insights and experiences shared in each letter or acronym of FAITH or faith. Okay. So I'm so excited to share this with you. Well, before I proceed, let me give you a little background about me. Again, I am Miss Anamay Badayos Dusaran, raised in a poor family. My mother and father are both elementary school graduates with no permanent jobs. My mother rather, is a housekeeper, while my father is a laborer. So I'm single, turning 41 this August 6th, the eldest among the nine. But we became eight when our youngest died. Okay, so she was AG Hyacinth, my sister that I didn't see and touch, died when she was 5 months old due to a congenital heart disease. I was a shy child, actually, and have never dreamed of becoming a teacher. Since we didn't have money or for me to get educated in the city, I settled at a state college in our town. So I remember telling my mother that before I just wanted to be an agriculturist. But the truth is, but the truth was, my real dream is to become an astronaut someday. Well, I didn't want to be a teacher, but the irony happened. See? So furthermore, I became a public secondary teacher. I have had numerous experiences from private to public. And at present, I am teaching English and creative writing at Barotac Viejo National High School, Barotac Viejo, Iloilo, Philippines. Actually, science is my favorite because it was not available during the time. I took English as an option since I like to read stories. I really like to read stories. So my family, okay, uh, if only you can see the slide because I'm going to introduce you or I'm going to present to you my family in a picture. Um, honestly, I was, I had a hair lip yes, I was born with a hair lip or what you call this, cleft lip. And I was always teased by my um, friends and even classmates during my childhood. I always found myself crying because that is, well, that made me cry, that made me pain because it's for me it was too painful being teased, um, being a girl who had a hairnet. Okay, so if only you can see the slides I posted there, the picture of my family and together with my cousin when I was in Manila after my operation. Okay, because when I was five, my aunt brought me in Manila to have my general operation with my hair lip or cleft lip here. So there are numerous roles or tasks I have, whether it's school, in church, or some organizations, as well also in my family and in my personal areas. Some were my former tasks, and others are still my task at present. So I am a class advisor, one of the Congressional District Research Committee technical support staff, the GAD chairperson of Evaluation and Monitoring, the Science Investigatory Project English Critic, and the GSP Assistant Troop Leader at present. So also, I am an editor, facilitator, a self-proclaimed writer or author in my free time because I write poems, articles, and even novels. Well, did I am a member of different organizations. I am a Sunday school teacher and church member as well. And now taking my PhD online. So that's all the roles and tasks I have. And that's the reason why I really want to share with you some of my tips, some of my secrets and ways. How did I handle this throughout the years? So I do believe that to switch task or multitask has advantages and disadvantages. Yet in today's world, the demand to do it is crucial. As personal, family, school, job, church, and other areas are involved. Well, we cannot say that we can alone or we alone can survive. As there is a saying that no man is an island. We need church, we need organization, we need school, we need career, okay? We need relationships. Okay. So those are the areas that everybody is needing, or that's the crucial areas that we need. Okay. So life, whether we like it or not, cannot operate without these areas. So therefore, the ability to balance is important. And perhaps the problem is not multitasking, but how to handle them without losing oneself or any of the areas mentioned. As for me, I am not perfect and didn't 100% have the perfect life on earth. Well, my friends, my family, everybody knows me, what happened to me, okay, throughout the years. So, and most of the time, I experienced ups and downs in any of these areas I mentioned. So, my life is not perfect. I have challenges. I have failures in everything. Yet, at the end of the day, somehow, as my coach says there, I apply this principle. Not seldom, but always. So yes, its advantages are numerous when you're going to research them. Yet in this technology-driven age, where fast or instant is a lifestyle, switching tasks is inevitable. Even if you just say that you are a plain housekeeper, just like my mother, an ordinary driver, a vendor, or an office worker, how about your personal needs, family, and relationships? They all matter. And whether you like it or not, you need to meet them. If not in weeks, but perhaps on a holiday or on some days when you need to be absent or sacrifice a few hours to meet all your tasks. And all of this cannot be stopped. Okay? So they are simply our routine, our lifestyle, but how do you handle them? Okay, so that's the question. How do you handle this multitasking? Okay, as far as our schedules and availability are concerned, we may have a roller coaster of emotions or feelings to meet them that sometimes demand a price to pay. Either we're going to be absent from one role or task to prioritize the other, or we are going to simply switch tasks. Right? So let's understand first and foremost what is a task or tasks. So according to Xingyan Gao et al. In 2021, a task is a performance that is significant in education and includes self-control, responsibility, and perseverance. Well, it is not only a task for educators or teachers, but for all walks of life, whether you are an entrepreneur, writer, researcher, farmer, etc. So this all happened not only for teachers just like me, okay, but for all professionals and even those people who are just at home. Okay. So the foundation of learning task is the idea that new expertise is developed through experience. So I do believe that experience is the best teacher. So that's why I am here today because I who am I, by the way? I am just a nobody, but I guess my experiences will tell a lot. Okay. So they put students in circumstances where they can safely use the material they are learning and cooperatively develop their own capacity to use their new abilities to solve challenges. So this is not only for students, but also for employees like us. An organization or corporation will give them trainings, seminars, workshops, and other activities to facilitate learning. Okay. So PNS said, or PNS said, for low insider, a student's achievement of the specified learning outcomes will be documented by an assessment assignment, which is a distinct and discrete learning activity. So for the second, um, aside from being a performance, it is also a learning. Okay. So when we say task, not only a performance, also a task, or also a learning, rather. Okay. So essays, presentations, group projects, reports, and those final exams are just few examples of the types of assessment assignments that can be used as diagnostic, formative, or summative evaluation. So the educators knows this. This happens in school, universities, and state colleges. Well, the third meaning of task is assessment. Okay, so we teachers we do give assessment to our learners. Okay, so for employers they have this different way also of evaluating their employees. So according to Raymert and Thune in 2023, critical perspectives on multitasking start with the premise that there is a limit of to doing too many things at once because our attention, time, and resources are finite. So it means it is limited. Yes, that's true. That's the fact. Furthermore, when tasks are not complementary, so when we say complementary, it's serving one. Okay, it's one, but when we say complementary, serving to fill out or to complete. So it's obviously harmful or detrimental consequences of multitasking are increased. So when there is a spillover effect and the time and resources needed to complete one work, one can also use to complete another. So this is complementary now. There is complementarity. Oh, so naturally, the size of the task at hand also matters because everyone has a finite amount of time. Therefore, task complementarity depends on both the type and size of the task that must be completed. So relevant queries does include whether or not academic work duties complement one another. So there's always a way, okay, that our task, why there is a need to do that task because there is this importance or there is a complementary, okay, this complementarity is very important. So another meaning for task is assign pieces of work and are often to be finished within a certain time, so according to Merriam-Webster. So another one, a task usually a preload to a purpose and it is assigned to someone who must finish it. Yes, that's true. Okay. So oftentimes our bosses or our employers give us a certain work, okay, for us to finish on time. Well, next, people frequently multitask in order to complete activities. When their schedules become busier and they have less time to do so, on the slides, okay, so how I wish that you see my slides because on my slides I have this different pictures where I do switch task at a time, or I mean, doing my different task at a time. Okay, and there is also some circumstances that I do switch tasks at a time. All right. So other frequent instances of multitasking in personal and professional context includes like just like when you reply an email while listening to a podcast or while listening to your boss. So during a lecture, you take notes as well as you hear somebody who is talking, okay, during the lecture. So you listen and at the same time you write, reading the small print when completing paperwork or driving a vehicle while talking to someone. So while talking to someone or greeting somebody. That is multitasking. And now, well, a while ago, we just discussed what a task is. So to go further what a multitasking is, let me give you some of the meanings of multitasking. Again, how I wish that you see my slides so you will be able to see the different pictures that I have, my real pictures when I was in my first job, okay, when I was in Manila from private school to public school. But that it's okay. So first, when we say multitasking, it is the performance of multitasking or multiple tasks at one time, as Merriam-Webster dictionary said. So either two or more tasks are on your plate at the moment. So I always do this as my nature of work suggests. So as I'm a teacher, I'm also before several years ago, I was a club advisor, at the same time a class advisor, and I have some folders to do, doing some like coaching to my other students or to some students in different levels and sections as we have our activities in English and not only in English in some other subjects as well. So I do switch task or I do multitask. But later you are going to find out why did I use multitask and task and why do I use also the switch task or task switch, right? So again, the first meaning of multitasking is the performance of multiple tasks. Can you imagine that? You do tasks more than one task at a time. So next is focusing on many activities at once, whether they are completed simultaneously or by repeatedly switching between them, according to Waller 1997. So in my slides, you're supposed to see my different pictures in different fields. Okay, in school, I have this. I am an advisor, class advisor, former Batang Ready advisor, former Society of English Students advisor, former coach in poetry reading and poetry writing, and also a coach in during our English day we have this language labyrinth. So I do also that, or I did that also in the past, and even now in recent years that I teach here. So next, by changing your concentration and attention from one subject to another rapidly. So that is multitasking according to Cherry 2023. It's all the same having this multiple tasks to do at the moment. So you're gonna switch them. You don't have a choice. If if you have deadlines at that particular moment or in that day, so how will you do it? If for example, you know the first slide, but then in the second slide you find hard. But then how about your next task? What will you do? So in my case, I do leave the another slide and do continue my work in another task. So I just leave it at the moment or pause it for a while and then come back later if I have already the thought or something to put there. Okay, to finish my task. So in the next slide, you're supposed to see all my tasks from previous years to recent years. But then I am sorry again that I am not able to share it with you today. Or probably if the team will able to share it later. Okay? So some were done already while others exist or at present I still do them. So I try to balance time for my job, family, church, school, for my PhD, personal life, and doing what I love. Actually, they always tease me, why are you still single? They ask me that. And they tease me that, oh, you're older now. You're turning 41 soon. So what will you do with your life? You're supposed to get married because you know life is um in your age you need to have a partner. Okay, so but then I just smile and take it as okay, if God's will someday if God permits that I have my own family as well. But right now, I am just focusing my time in doing this task assigned for me. Okay. So I don't always get what I want, and I may need to sacrifice two or more tasks to do before others. But in general, I feel good doing what I have in mind. So I found out that when you set that in your thoughts, that you're gonna finish that kind of task and do things to do them no matter what, no matter what are the hindrances are, you will be able to. So I I find, or I mean, I do that most of the time. So, and this is what I really want to share with you. Right? So, you may say, or you might say, I do that, or also, Miss Lusaran, but perhaps I have these ways also that you might help you. Okay, in some ways. Well, so let's take a look first at the truth about multitasking. So we have this different facts and opinions about multitasking, but we have to define them, or I mean, we need to know them. So it is true that multitasking can be beneficial to a project. Well, of course, being an employer, for example, in an organization, being a leader in a school in different areas, having an employee who knows multitasker, well, it's an advantage. Okay, as you see, being efficient is very important as well as being effective. Okay, so this is a fact since right now, due to the lifestyle and demand of the technology driven age, where cell phones are ubiquitous and being instant is observed, everything is instant, such as instant noodles, instant food, and others. So this is a skill that every company, organization, and corporation wants to hire. Okay, so I'm not saying that I do um I do what do you call this one, flatter myself, but I guess this is very important. Okay, and to share this with you. Well, of course, there are qualifications needed aside from this. But what I'm trying to say is that this is an edge, a plus, a bonus, and a skill to be prioritized as far as efficiency is concerned, as I've said a while ago. So deadlines are urgent and schedules are often overwhelming. But with a multitasker around it, well, everything will make it happen. So the goal can be reached. When thinking of a project that demands tasks to be done, a multitask will meet the deadline. Because of this, many businesses, okay, select profiles that can perform a range of tasks, jobs, and responsibilities. And even as in our personal lives, I know that you will agree with me that if only you have a lot of hands to do your task. Okay, if you babysat, for example, your child, change the diaper, as well as you want to cook, you want to do the laundry and everything. Okay, so you have that thoughts as well. Okay, of having this multitasking, or if only you can do this in one time or at a time. So we often hear and use the word multitasking, but the question is, did we ever multitask? So the majority of scientists say no. So if we're going to research this on the internet, in Google's, in some research articles, and even in scholarly articles or journals, that scientists say no. Okay, so they say no to the multitasking. So much so that in Dr. Rene Marius' words, he said that our brains do not handle multitasking situations well. As soon as two tasks require our attention, productivity suffers. So Dr. Marius is a neuroscience expert whose research focuses on understanding that human neural attention bases. So institutions like Stanford University and the American Psychological Association, or APA, have held this viewpoint for a while. So Dr. Marius is a neuroscience expert whose research focus on understanding the human neuronal attention basis. So in other words, we can do this. Okay, so it's from the expert that we can do multitasking. But what is the right term for it? As we are used to saying multitasking. Well, the ability to switch between tasks more or less swiftly is what we refer to as multitasking in reality, but we don't multitask. Okay, you have to remember that. We don't multitask. We task switch. So that's very clear. Again, we don't multitask, but we task switch. Okay, so this is the explanation or science behind our actions. Then we describe them as multitasking, yet we don't perform it. Instead, as I've said, we don't multitask, we task switch. We can't do two tasks at a time, but we have to switch them in order to finish or to do that another task. All right. So, if we have the slide, I'm going to share with you the pictures of the merits and demerits and facts about multitasking. So, with multitasking or task switching, so we are used to the word multitasking instead of saying task switching. But now I'm going to use task switching. Okay, or probably in the end, I still use multitasking. Well, some of its advantages or merits, okay, are good time management. Of course, we want to finish tasks on time, as observed. So because of that, there will be higher productivity. More things will be accomplished. It adds more responsibilities as well. As we finish a certain task or for example, our employer will tell us, okay, you have to finish this task for 1 hour. But then we finish it ahead of time. So there will be more responsibilities awaits then. Then it reduces memory as the tasks are done. So this is the merit or this is the advantage or advantages of multitasking or task switching. Well, on the other hand, its advantages or demerits are it creates low efficiency. Memory can be at risk as it performs simultaneously. There's a big chance of error and it can build stress and it can be distracting as you need to attend to several tasks. So this is now the advantages or the merits of switching tasks. Well, it is a fact that individual has the capacity to work under pressure. He or she can handle several tasks at once. This individual is confident that he or she can handle task after task without being told to do so. So some of the people um, do tasks with this kind of attitude. Well, what then? So are there things we need to do or observe just to perform multitasking or to task switching? Well, as you have seen my title, it's about faith and multitasking task. And I do repeat, I'll do use again the word task instead of multitasking only because I'm going that's my way of emphasizing the word. So it's an artistic style. Okay, that is why I use the multitasking and then task. Okay. So well, you're supposed to see the pictures in the slide that again, will show you how I switch tasks, okay, in the past and up to the present. Well, people may wonder why or how they did it or how I did it. How, how did I do all my tasks from the past and up to the present? Well, as I've said, I'm not perfect. Okay, I'm not perfect. In fact, I have a lot of failures. I do have a lot of shortcomings. Actually, I've been through a lot, so both ups and downs. And yes, I experienced failures. So I've said before, setbacks, discouragement, being unmotivated, and more. Okay. So, but as I reflected on everything, I can still say that I've been blessed so much in my career, family, church, personal life, and in school in many ways. So, despite of all the failures, discouragement, setbacks that I experienced, I can still say that I am blessed. I am blessed because I didn't um in my million thoughts or thousand thoughts, I didn't think of all these things to happen to me, but God is so gracious that He allows me to experience okay all these things. Well, you will learn them on later. So as I share with you my secret ingredients for multitasking or to task switching. So we use the word multitasking, but again, well, We just have to use task switch or switch test. Well, it is unbelievable because, as you know, I am introvert by nature. So to tell you honestly, I'm not an extrovert. Well, my childhood friends and even my family knows that. Okay, they know that I'm not this introvert. I'm not used to people. Actually, I always receive the ribbon of being most well behaved when I was in my elementary because I always prefer um to keep quiet. I am shy. Okay, so again, I am an introvert person. Maybe because of my cleft or hair lip. Okay, but that's the reason perhaps that I was so shy during the time when I was a child. So I was so shy. So if I called to talk, a part of me held back a bit. Okay? So there's nervousness within me. I'm scared to talk in front of people. People not be able to see out or to know that. But that's my character. But eventually, due to my exposure and experiences in various fields, I managed to overcome my introverted side. Although I do have that sometimes, even if I used to talk to people on stage and even in online, just like this, I am a combination of an introvert and an extrovert. Well, how did I know that? Because um, psychology is one of my favorite areas as well. Okay, so if even if even I couldn't believe that a child like me, who just prefers to keep quiet, has been given a chance to play a role or perform tasks that make me speak or lead. So, as I share my journey and my secret ingredients and how I manage them through the years, though I know that there are times that I mismanage them a bit or fail, perhaps overall, I did work. I did reach my goal. Now fasten your seatbelt and allow me to humbly share my observational or practiced ways or character to meet my tasks. Okay? So Martin Luther King Jr. said that faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. So we believe on that. I believe on that. That so for you to reach the top most of the stairs, you need to step on the first step first. Well, we cannot go to the upper room or land on a higher part of the staircase unless we take the first step. We may skip them as we make a wide step, yet it will make us a bit uncomfortable, or perhaps we may accidentally slide, fall, or get a hard bump. Okay? So now what is faith? Okay, I know that all of you who join us today come from different religious backgrounds and have different beliefs, practices, and principles. Well, I do respect you for that. Well, even if you don't have religion or if for atheists or whatever religious background you come from, you have a faith to live by. I do believe on that. All right. So everyone has the right to an open mind, to consider ideas, to adopt stances that are motivated by their religious, philosophical, or other convictions. Person also have the freedom to publicly express their religious or other views through acts of worship, observance, practice, and instruction, subject to some restrictions. Okay, so statistics say that Christians are 2.2 billion followers, representing 31.5% of the world's population. Muslims, 1.6 billion, that is 23.2% of the population. Non-religious people, that is 1.1 billion, 16.3% of the population. Hindus, 1 billion, 15.0%. We have Buddhists, 500 million, that is 7.1%. Indigenous religions, 400 million, that is 5.9%. Other religions, we have 58 million, that is 0.8%. And of course, we have here Jews, 14 million, 0.2%. So I did share this for you to be aware as well that I do respect you, even if you are not like in my belief or you don't agree with my belief. Okay, so for instance, a person may have faith or knowing, okay, without necessarily practicing religion or doing. So alternatively, a person can be religious and have faith without necessarily being spiritual. Okay, as being. So furthermore, according to the definition's closest interpretation, a person's faith need not include religion or spirituality. That's according to some books. But here, for me, the faith that I'm talking about is trust, loyalty, and talking to God. This is always connected to religion, beliefs, and practices, as I mentioned. Okay, for me, that's faith. So you put your trust to God or in God. So when I was in college, in my third year, I was able to stop due to my to our financial problems we have. We were buried with debts at the time, and I pitied my mother and father and the whole family. So it was I who decided to stop. At the time, I was a Catholic. So please don't get me wrong. My intention here is to give you a background on why I choose faith to observe task switching or multitasking. But this is not all. There's so much after this. So this is just the beginning. We're just defining what faith is as of the moment. I was not a woman of prayers at that time. Okay. So I am not prayerful. Okay. So, but I did help my grandmother and others pray on all occasions. During the time I was a Catholic, such as for individuals who died, for Mary and Joseph, reciting the rosary, and others. So that was my job before. I did work as a nanny in the city. So in short, I stopped. I stopped from my in my third year college. So I worked as a nanny in the city. And one night I found myself crying. Okay, so yes, I did cry. That was a few weeks before my birthday, okay, in August 6th. That was in the weeks of July in 2001. So the memory um, was so clear to me, okay, that I wanted to share this with you. Okay. So last 2 weeks perhaps. So I didn't know I would just cry. I wept perhaps in silence. Nobody knew that I wept during that time because of what happened to my family, because of what happened to me when I was in college. Asking God to send a person or individual that would help me finish my study as a gift to me since that would be my 18th birthday on August 6th. Or I mean as a gift to me since my 18th birthday was approaching. So I did cry heavily. Okay. So in that particular room, okay, with the lights off, only a light in the other room was seen at that time. So the next day, believe it or not, I received a call that somebody wanted to help me. He was the PTA president of the state college that at that time wanted to help me as a scholar in school. So upon hearing the shared news of my mother, because at that time my mother worked as a nanny or a yaya as well in um, one of the um, one of the pupils in church. Okay, because this PTA president was a pastor in Bible Baptist Church in Barotac Viejo at the time. Okay, and even now, being a pastor as well. So, to make a long story short, after 15 days, I went back to school. Okay, this time I cried for happiness because I didn't think that that kind of prayer that I just wept the night before or that a few days before, I didn't realize that, oh, it was a prayer to my, or it was an answered, or it was an answer to my prayer after all. So I did realize that after my 18th birthday, that God had answered my prayer. I had a rough childhood, okay, as poverty ruled us. Okay, so that was the start of my spiritual turning point. Okay, as I've said, I'm not a prayerful woman before. Okay, as I just did what asked me to do, or yes, during that time, since I was an obedient child before. Okay, and even now, I am an obedient. Still, I am an obedient child. So as I attended the first prayer meeting, I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. I realized that because of that faith that I put in God, He answered my prayer. So since then, my spiritual journey has started. I joined the church then. So now let me share with you the acronym of faith. Why faith in multitasking task? Or why faith in multitasking? Okay. So that faith has an acronym. So there is a word that stands in F. AITH, which I consider and observe as I multitask or switch task. So I do observe these words. Okay, these are the practices that I do now and then. They are the adjectives or character that I learn and discover as I wear my different hats. Okay, or I do switch tasks. Well, first, F stands for faithful and forgiving. A stands for adaptable or adjustable. I stands for industrious or innovative. T stands for teachable or thoughtful. H stands for helpful and honest. So let's take a look about faith first in faithful. Well, faithful. Well, as you see, faithful comes from the root word faith. Well, if you're faithful while doing your errands, tasks, etc., no matter how tired you are, hindrances may happen, but if you are faithful, you'll finish the work. Why did I say this? Because I experienced this many, many times. And I do observe this at present, even at present. So, in other words, you have the loyalty to work and to finish the task because you are faithful. You understand that being faithful is you need to finish a task as you are committed to doing so. So sometimes it's easy to say yes or no to a task, but the question is, are you going to let faith be your guide to do and finish the work? Okay, so in my more than 10 years of working as a teacher, in all the challenges I face, whether they involve my personal life, family, work, and others, though I cry, I may utter that I have to give up. Sometimes I do tell myself like that, oh, I'm so tired now. Oh, as if I want to give up. Yes, I'll be honest with you, I do that sometimes. Okay, but I have to change this. In a moment, I reflected, or I reflect. Yet at the end of the day, I think of my faith. What I learned in the Bible and in church has been my foundation and my reminder that I need to do the right thing, as it is my promise to fulfill or to do it. I'll pay what I promise, which is to do what I need to do. So I did multitask or to switch tasks. Well, it is not easy, so the past declared the time, effort, and sacrifices that needed to invest. Yet with passion, concerns, and this faith, anything is possible, okay, to attain. So in church, though there are times that I'm not that active, um, yes, I am not that active. I realize and reflect that seeking God through prayer and doing church activities help me stay on track. Okay, so that's only my secret. In addition, when it comes to work, I have this commitment that whatever I start, I must finish. Okay, so but there are some activities or some tests that I didn't perhaps continue or I failed to meet because of some circumstances. But um, overall, in all the tasks I have, in all the activities, programs that I am involved with, I see to it that I do my part. Okay, no matter what will happen. So how I wish you will see the pictures. You will see all those pictures because I have a lot of pictures I'm supposed to share with you. Well, no matter how depressing or bad the situation, when your spiritual journey is active, you'll be able to survive all the storms in your life. And with the failures, disappointments, and everything else, you'll be able to thank God as you see the lesson afterwards. Okay? Every all of my friends, family, and even my colleagues, even my classmates, and everyone who knows me know how I survived all the trials and failures I have in life. Well, that's because of faith. Next is forgiving. Another F is forgiving. So that means being anger, animosity, and spiteful, ruminating are just a few of the negative feelings that are linked to grudge, carrying in addition to heightened stress. So it creates favorable feelings that can enhance relationship, quality, decision making, and cognitive performance. So just like any other, I am not perfect. I may think, say, or do things that may hurt others, or perhaps that may offend them uh, that without my knowledge. But there is no sin. or weakness for which I didn't say sorry. If I can say sorry to the person, well, I see to it that I talk to God. And honestly, I tell him what I've realized. And deep within, I know God forgives. So even if the person didn't know, or even if I will not say sorry to that person, I um, most of most of the time when I realized that I did something wrong, I talk to God in secret. I did pray and I say sorry for my sin because I am that kind of person. When I know that I commit mistakes, I I right away talk to God. Well, I am the kind of person who feels bad when somebody doesn't talk to me. Yes, that's the fact. Yet I learned that when my conscience is clear and I know deep within myself that I didn't do any harm, even if that person will no longer talk to me, I know I did a good job. I give them heaven. I give them to heaven to do the rest. Because if I do something bad, I'll right away say sorry. So that's what I've said a while ago. Others may view me as a nuisance, but it is my system. I can't let anyone steal that identity for me. Okay. So again, if I know that I I did sin, I did something wrong, I talk to that person and say sorry. And if not, I talk to God. Okay. I say sorry to God. While coworker conflicts is unavoidable and if ignored is linked to high stress, physical and mental health issues and low productivity. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's fact. In order to counteract these detrimental effects, researchers set out to investigate the rule of forgiveness. So I practice this. I forgive easily. Believe it or not, I do that. I always think of love and peace. Grudges are not in my vocabulary. Maybe I have that slight one, but holding it for so long and taking vengeance is not my character. That is not me. As I fear God that it will come back to me if I do harm to others. Well, yes, I have this stupidity sometimes. I am not perfect again. Hmm. I get mixed up, and may think, say, and do things badly. I accept that. But shortly after a while, I'll make a reflection and pray about it. This is how I survive the misunderstanding and conflicts that I experience. So my secret is prayer again. So just pray. Over time, peace and security will come. Okay, next. A or adaptable for A. Capable of being readily changed. As Thesaurus said, my practices here, be ready to face and work for changes, accept what is or are need to change. Well, oftentimes, I am called to do this and that. Or you may say we have these new guidelines or new tasks to do, especially in school as I teach. Well, such as folders and others. And I found myself saying just okay. So I may say something like this and that, but within my heart, I take it to heart that it is my responsibility role and task to do it. So I didn't complain. Okay. Instead, I work on making the necessary changes. I spend effort, time, even money just to make it happen. My family knows this. Okay. And even my parents know that I can, I may even spend without sleeping just to finish a task. Well, whether I am in school, church, or another organization, as long as my schedule permits, I make a deal to do it. I am committed to the change happening anyway. So this is what I learned over the years of teaching as change is inevitable in the system. So actually it is always constant. The rule for the document today may not be applicable in the next school year and others. Well, next A is adjustable, able to do many different kind of things according to Thesaurus Plus again. So my practices, how do I adjust? Willingness and love to work will do the difference. Show talents and skills and pray for wisdom. I am not saying that I am a talented person, but over the years of teaching, of being a member in different organizations, doing different tasks, different activities, well, this is one of the character that I can say that I have this being adjustable. So this is one of my secrets too. So tell me of something to work on and I will do my best for it. So though I didn't have knowledge about it, I prayed for it. Okay. So honestly, sometimes even if I didn't know a task, because that is assigned to me, I at first I may have doubt, but well, as the time continues or goes on, I just have to pray. I ask wisdom to God. Okay. So I did again. I go back to pray. Okay, to being prayerful. So how will I handle this kind of test? Because I didn't know this. Anyway, okay. Well, he has given wisdom. Okay, I'm talking to God. He has given me wisdom to understand what I need to do in a moment and when I needed it or it the most. So I apply this to my job, family, church, and school. And as I am attending my PhD now and other short courses. So this is just my secret. Okay. So I do believe that when you have that willingness, and even though you are still new to the job, for example, you will get it through. I work different tasks, different folders, and different hats. Though sometimes I face different scenarios, such as failures or as a mistake, I didn't stop. I keep going. You may see me silent for a moment, but then um, the next day, I'll be able to come back again. Okay, so some of the pictures, oh, how I wish the slide is there. Okay, in the pictures, I have some of my past active routines. So at present, I still practice some of those. So I did prioritize what I needed to prioritize before I let my personal enjoyment come. Yes, that's true. Okay, that's my system. I'll do my job first before um my personal work or hobbies comes. So I admit that sometimes I have some kind of doubt. Yet when the need arises, that my effort or contribution is needed, I just pray. Soon the task that I do will be done. Okay. So next, let's go to I in faith. Let's have industrious. So when we say industrious, being diligent and hardworking, constantly, regularly, or habitually active or occupied, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. So my practices here, being a hard worker or work hard, give my best effort, sacrifice, aim for the outcome, and pray. Again, prayer is here. Okay. So since I was a child, I have been trained to work. Okay. As I've said, I am the eldest among the nine. Okay. Now we become eight. So I was trained. Okay. My mother trained me to work at home, babysitting or babysat. Um, do the errands at home, cleaning our house, washing the dishes, okay, and more. So I did watch my siblings, except for the youngest. So as I've said, our youngest died when I was in Manila. Okay, oh, whom I neither saw nor touched. So AG Harrison died of congenital heart disease when she was 5 months old. She was a menopausal baby of my mother. So when our parents were not around, I did watch my siblings. The youngest was fed by a bottle or just by feeding cereal foods. So I did fetch water almost a kilometer away from the house. Can you imagine that? I worked, yes, I did fetch water. Okay. So I made sure that when our parents went home, our house was clean. Okay. With water, we have this cooked rice and no messes at all. So when I worked as a working student, when I was in college, I did the same. Okay. So I wash clothes, I babysit and cook rice. I'm not much of a good cook. I just cook what is available anyway. So and given enough time, I do cook what I love to eat. Well, in my job, I prioritize it above my personal hobbies. Again, I did prioritize my job over my personal hobbies. So I do what I need to do. As most of the time, I need to accomplish paperwork. I give effort, resources, time, money, and my best in order to reach or finish task on time. Even in my time for my family, I sacrifice that. Yes, that's true. Okay, my family knows this. Just to report to school or to go or to do something as the task is urgent or a must to do. So the SES or the Society of English Students Reading Center was one of the very best projects I had together with my assistant or co-advisor and Society of English Students members. So it was made of wood, bamboo, and etc. So if if we have the slide, if you could only see the slide here, you will be able to see our reading center that that was made of bamboos. Okay, so in Philippine setting or um in Bahay Kubo inspiration or yes, and well, that was one of the clubs or organizations I joined. So in my terms, I did what was best for my job, and even now, if only I could give my 100% attention to that job, I'll do. Okay, for the job's sake, for the learner's sake. Well, next is innovative and I. So when we say innovative, a person who does new and original, find new ways to do things. So in my practices as being a teacher, I don't afraid to do things differently. I explore and try new technique, strategy or method. So sometimes you have to come up with new ideas to keep going. Oh, you might wonder why. You may ask me, oh, what will happen if, for example, if somebody or if your colleagues will not agree with you, what will you do? Well, that's a different thing. That's a different situation. Well, it you might have a different approaches for them, or you might tell them in a different way. Okay, so in school, I did apply different strategies and techniques to engage my students' attention and show their skills. I am not afraid to try new things. I did join God when we implemented the Feeding for Learning innovation the previous year. Okay, so aside from research, I do also join implementing innovation in our school. So I pray for wisdom and ways to achieve what I need to achieve. My ways are not perfect, but they made it happen. Students learn, projects done, children's attention won. But all of this, okay, the failures are just there, discouragement and many negativities. But what did I do to overcome that? Again, I pray for learning. I pray for the ways that learners will learn. Of course, there are no shortcuts. There are setbacks and hindrances. They are pains, roadblocks, and negativities. But let me tell you this. To be innovative, you need to dare to take risk. Going back to faith, you have to pray for strength or yes, and courage. And that fall or failure will come to pass. And you just need to see the gold in those outcomes. So next is T in faith. T here is teachable. So when we say teachable, being ready and yes, ready or ready, willing to be taught, and it is all about attitude. So my practices here is or are willing to accept to be taught or corrected, accept limitations, open to new learning. So I always tell myself that I'm always a learner. I need guidance, advice, and others. So whatever corrections or things I fail to do, I reflect afterward. Yes, there are times that I feel like I know something or I may act like I know everything, but those are defensive tactics only because of my limitations, insecurities, and fear. Well, other times I need to do it to give myself assurance that I can do it. Well, I am inspired by Alex Scott's speech in a graduation that to fall forward. So never give up. But you need to learn the lesson to make things better with humility, patience, and practice. As long as you always hang out in the barber shop, as he said, and then you get a haircut, sooner or later you'll get one. So in other words, when you fail, just continue. Okay? Never give up. Okay, sooner or later you will win. Okay, if you take part or participate in a contest, for instance. So same with success. You may fail today, tomorrow, the next day, and more. Yet when your time comes, in God's time, in God's perfect time, as it will for you, things will change. In school and in my job, I always listen to what I can learn during our meetings, workshops, gatherings, and other opportunities. So it is the ability to say yes to the ideas that can eventually give you a purpose, an idea, a clue, a hint on what's better or best to do. All right. So next T is thoughtful. So when we say thoughtful, displaying concern and care in how you interact with others, right? So according to Cambridge Dictionary, it's always thinking of the things you can do. Okay, according to Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English Online. Well, my practice is here. I offer services before others. I show constraint and give things to others. So I am not afraid to tell or show how much I appreciate a person. Okay, whether it is a boy or a girl. So I always have my ways to appreciate a person. That's me and that's my system. So I have my ways of saying thank you to those who helped me with my papers, for instance, for making me through or being able to lend a hand with when I needed it the most. So this is needed for multitasking or to switch tasks. People when valued, again, people when valued do their best, as one saying says. Okay. So yes, it's true. How do you feel when somebody appreciates you? Well, everyone loves to be appreciated. Okay. So I give value and extend my gratitude gestures to the persons or individuals who somehow helped me. So through the years, regardless of the activity or celebration, I made an effort to show my appreciation, such as by making poems, sending greetings, saying thank you, giving gifts, and others. Okay? So in school, most of the time we have tasks to do. So in the middle of the work, or just by dropping by or meeting these people, I say thank you, wave at them, expressing okay, how I thankful I am for what favor they have done to me. Okay, so that's being thoughtful. Next is age in faith. Okay, we're almost there. So helpful. Okay, what will be helpful? Of course, from the word help, you have this skill or talent or capacity to help a person, to help your organization, to help your team, to help your school or university or a state college. Well, since I was a child, I have been trained to do this. Okay. So I witnessed how my parents lent or extended a hand to our neighbors, family, relatives, friends, and even strangers. That is why they are loved and remembered. Okay? That is why most often people will always go to our house. They say thank you to my parents and to even ask for their help. So my grandparents too. My grandfather on my mother's side used to be a barangay counselor in their area and in charge of peace and discipline. Well, I knew in many instances how he woke up in the middle of the night or at dawn just to attend to somebody who asked for his help. So I witnessed how my grandpa sacrificed, gave money, and made an effort. So as a principal, as long as I am free and have the opportunity to lend a hand, I'll do it. Many times I made a sacrifice and I didn't regret it. Okay? I didn't regret helping a person, even in the middle of my business. If I have that opportunity, given that kind of opportunity. Well, many times I made, or in fact, seeing the people that I help makes me happy. Okay? So, that's kind of word to think about, but that's me. Okay? To see someone smile because I help him, that makes me happy. Okay, so that's the fact, or um that's my reaction afterwards. Well, what's the source as well? Well, I learned in the Bible to never be afraid to show kindness. Charity is the greatest of all the virtues mentioned. So the Bible tells us as well that we have to love our enemies, and I do that. That though it is not easy to do that at first, you just have to pray and things will work out as you need them. Helping someone gives me a different joy that makes me satisfied. Okay? So sometimes I feel tired as I do task switching. Well, that's true. As I've said, I'm not that 100% or I'm not that perfect. But I pray to attend to the needs, especially when they need urgency. So that's why it makes me a bit hyper and why I do my best to reach what I need to reach. So my intention is just to do what I need to do. Task switching is what I practice. I may even pause or stop my own work just to finish a neighbor or friend's work. But of course, there are cases where I need to say no. Okay? So but it's seldom that I do. Okay? So next age here is being honest. All right? So makes an individual much more reliable rather, and trustworthy. Speak the truth. Okay, that's comes from institute in character. Well, my practices here, tell the truth. Never be afraid to admit that you're sorry or wrong. And pray. Well, because prayer makes a miracle. Well, this is one character trait that my mother taught me. She told me before that I needed to be honest. I'm not saying that I didn't lie all my life. Okay? I have instances of that. Well, there are times that I lie. Okay? To be honest. But I can say that it seldom happens. As always, I observe honesty. Even if it means saying that I'm the one who makes mistakes, breaks the rule, or breaks the glass or vase. I can honestly say what I feel, my shortcomings, and if I feel happy, sad, upset, or angry. But to be honest, doing a task switch is um, is an ingredient as work involves it, and this benefits the company, the school, the learners, and others. So being honest means telling the truth about the scenario, the data, the outcomes, and the status. Well, it is my principle to be honest with all my dealings as much as I know, as I believe that I have poise, the confidence, and a happy thought in the heart if I'm just honest with no secrecy to the details. Well, of course, there are instances where I break this rule, where I need to. But at the end of the day, I ask forgiveness. I am a person who would be disturbed um if I didn't say the truth. But if it means even if it means humiliation on my part, it's okay as long as I tell the truth. Sometimes I'm misunderstood. Didn't we love honesty? Well, whether I give my talk like this or if I am invited once in a while to speak, I love to tell a bit of my experience with honesty. This might cause pain or stir us anger because you tell the truth, but trust me, they will thank you because you're being honest. When everything is calm and at the hit of the emotions has already subsided, choosing the right thing always makes a difference. So in my award as a runner-up for the COE UK Short Course Online Inspiration Award, I was able to share what I did to balance my work and at the same time work for my professional journey as I love learning a lot. Okay. So for my takeaways in today's topic, well, how I wish that you see the slide, but let me share with you some of the takeaways that I share here. An individual can multitask. He or she switches task. Most of the time, switching task has a purpose. Everybody wants to be productive, effective, and efficient in all areas. Faith is believing and trusting without seeing. Faith is confidence, hope, and trust in God. Faith suggests a person's character, behavior, and whole being. FAITH is an acronym to help perform multitasking. F stands for faithful and forgiving. A for adaptable and adjustable. I for industrious and innovative. T for teachable and thoughtful. And H for helpful and honest. And then there is always an answer to a prayer. With faith, task switching happens. So when theory and practice merge, success is on the way. Switching tasks is almost everybody's lifestyle. Faith make dreams possible. Okay? So there's a quote that says, according to Carolyn Leaf, faith motivates us to pursue these goals. Hope leads to expectations, which creates peace, excitement, and health in our minds, thus increasing brain and body health. Okay? So um, I'm so happy to share this video, all of these thoughts. Again, let me um, repeat again what faith is. Okay, Faith. Okay, so again, if here stands for faithful. Okay, again, F stands for faithful. Okay, forgiving, and A for adaptable or adjustable. I for industrious and innovative, T for teachable and thoughtful, H for helpful and for being honest. Okay, so these are the secret ingredients that I have in years. As I've said, I work as a teacher in public school. I was a former preschool teacher in Harvard School of Laguna. Then I I was a public teacher or an elementary teacher in the city, and I work as a public secondary teacher here in our school right now at present. Actually, I turning 10 years now in school from 2013 to this year. Okay, so these are all the secret ingredients that I did practice in all my works, in all my dealings, in all the activities, in all the programs that I had. I know that life is not easy, and to switch task is not easy because you are going to, it means you're going to share, you're going to give your best, you're going to give your effort, even your money, your time, and your skills and talents. I am not saying that I am skillful, I am talented, but somehow, because of my faith, because of that prayerful character I have in all my dealings, um, I have this over the years. I learned to ask God if I didn't know a certain thing. I'm not saying that my works, all my outputs are perfect. In fact, some of them failed, some of them are not good. But then overall, as I realize how I blessed I am, how God protect me and gives me wisdom, strength to carry out all the activities I have, all the tasks I have. I am so thankful for that. Um, they are so precious to me. They are a blessing to me. That a child like me, a child who was raised or who is raised in a poor family, having this hair lip or cleft lip, um, being this, a introvert, one became or become a teacher. Okay, so see how irony happens. And actually, I didn't, as I've said before, thought, I didn't think, I didn't um I didn't dream of becoming a teacher. I didn't pray, or I didn't pray before, but then look at me right now. That being a prayerful is one of the secret ingredients to stay on track. Even if everybody is almost collapsing, or even if you will tell yourself that you have to give up in everything because of all the failures, of all the humiliations, of all the discouragement, the and everything, every negativities that happen in your life. But because of this faith, okay, because of trusting to God, calling to God, praying to God, and of this faith that I applied now and then, this makes me survive in all the hardships, in all the challenges, and in the switching tasks that I did now and then. So um, you might say that I do that also. Okay, perhaps you do apply this also in your life, but somehow some of my points or some of my experiences will serve as a motivation or as an inspiration for you to work harder or to be inspired to do the switch task. Because as I've said, even if you are just a plain housekeeper, you might switch task or task switch sometimes. So how about, especially or in professionals like us, we do this switch task or task switch most of the time. Okay, so I'm the slides are not shared, but then I am so happy to share with you this little bit of me, these little practices I have. Okay. This is only one of the practices that I experience. Because to tell you honestly, I do love learning. Okay. That is why you will find my name in some websites or in some platform, because I do love learning. Because I do love learning, I do enroll in some short courses. Because I do love psychology, I do love creativity, neuroscience, music, and everything. Okay, so I am not saying that I knew everything, but somehow, because of this system I have that I do love, I am open to discovery. I'm open to learning. I do love studying. Okay. So if I don't have my job, or in my free time, I I do some personal habits, just like writing poems. Oh, that's as I've said in my point a while ago, that in being thoughtful, I do have my ways in appreciating someone or people who give a favor to me by giving them poems. Okay, so um, so thankful for this opportunity. Okay. I hope you learned something here. If the team will permit me, I have to share my slides online, even if my talk will be over. Or perhaps there are other ways that I can still share my slides for you to see those pictures that I have over the years of being the class advisor, of being the eldest among us or among my siblings, being a church member, choir member, and Sunday school teacher, being a coach, an editor, a self-proclaimed writer, and an author because I do write my novels. Some of my novels are there online in my pen name, and of course in my I have my poems there and some articles and blogs. Okay, so um, that's all. And thankful to be with you this afternoon. And again, I apologize for the technical issues that I experienced a while ago. Um, so thankful for this opportunity. Thankful for the IGP. Thankful for giving me a chance to share a bit of me, my secrets, my tips, my faith, and my experiences regarding my jobs, my school, my family, my church, and my friends. Love to um love to do more talks in the future. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much. Okay, so if there is some questions, are there any questions with the attendees? I'm happy to answer your questions if you have some questions there. Or maybe perhaps the team would like to ask me. Hello, ma'am. Thankful to be a part of this webinar. Thankful to your team. Thank you for your accommodation and for being one of your speakers here. This is a great having you indeed. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay, so if you have some questions there, I'm just here. I'm just here to answer your question. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After the presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention, learn and grow together as knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much for ma'am for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question answer session, which is the more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us after a short video. We'll be back in session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box. It's not if you want to know from our speaker. Thank you for question answer in your webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box. As much as you want to know from our speaker, thank you for question answer in webinar certification and online quiz competition.
Okay, thank you so much. Are there any questions? Hello. Okay, so are there any questions?
Dear listeners, please ask your question in the comment box to smart know from and Vika. Thank you for questions in the golden certification and online course competition. Dear listeners, please ask your question in the comment box. Smart know from and Vika. Thank you for questions in the golden certification and online course competition. Now I think after this competition, our knowledge because we can understand the question very understand everything. So dear friends, question in the comment box. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for this time in ICT. We have learned a lot from this topic. Let's contribute to our daily activities along with our academic activities. Honorable ma'am, we will see you again with a new topic and new videos. Thank you, ma'am. Take care. I didn't already stand for the original certification process and was selected as part of the video media after certificate that our original certification and the original certification in the online competition and certification. I didn't already stand for the original certification process the most selected as part of our video media after the certificate that our original certification and the original competition in the online competition and certification. Certification process. Certification instructions. Step 1. Visit www.edu.com. Please make sure it presents on our website. Step 2. Find a running session and get enrolled. Step 3. After watching and completing part 1 video session, click mark as complete. Step 4. Move to the next, which is the learning test with passing mark 80%. Step 5. Please pass back to the course again to download a certificate equal to retake the course. Step 6. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your admission, I am going to share the procedure again. Certification instruction. Step 1. Visit www.edu.com. edu.com. Please make sure you present on our website. Sign up for signing. Step 2, find a running session and get enrolled. Step 3, after watching and completing part 1, videos will click mark as complete. Step 4, move to the next, which is the learning test quiz, passing by 80%. Step 5, first back to the course again. To download a certificate, it will to retake the course. Step 6, download a certificate in PDF or JPG. Here, I can also is time for the most amazing part of our webinar, which is the online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity participation process. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition, please follow the instruction carefully. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition, please follow the instruction carefully. For some technical problems, you can obtain help this from our website. So to join our quiz, you have to go to www.slido.com and to the quiz ticket 2608264. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. If 20 people are going to start our quiz, our first question is practice with the task help in multitasking. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Then show 100% people right here in the leaderboard. First question is Sam, second is Genium, third is Indian, fourth is Sarah, fifth is Kerian. The digital native perform well in multitasking task. Option 1 to option 2 false. Third person is false. 5% people are right here. And in the leaderboard, first question is Chini, second is Sam, third is Kerian, fourth is Genium, fifth is Sarah. Our third question is multitasking often results in task taking less time. Option 1 less, option 2 more. Our answer is false. 7% people are right here in the leaderboard. First person is Sam, second is Shamim, third is Dima, fourth is Adis, fifth is Sanjay. Our fourth question is multitasking multitasking, computer executes test-defined tasks in parallel. Option 1, 3, option 2, 7. Right answer is 7. 77% people writing in the leaderboard. First person is Shamu, second is Aziz, third is Nasik, fifth is fourth is Kenny, fifth is Kimia. Our fifth question is in the multitasking moments are multitask performance children. Option 1, they appear to option 2, I panic and click this. Right answer is they appear to some similar similarities in the leaderboard. First is Aziz, second is Kenny, third is Shamu, fourth is Kimia. Our fifth question is multitasking often results in the both tasks being performed. Option 1, poorly, option 2, better. References poorly 27% people are active in the level. First question is Amnazi, second is Emilian, third is Civilian, fourth is Kefa, fifth is European. Our second question is in multitasking and computer is built surrounding design tasks means total option of proportion, option 2, intelligence. First answer is intersecting. 16% people rated active in the leader. First question is Civilian, second is artist, third is Tini, fourth is Shami, fifth is Emilian. Our equation is multitasking is effective in memorizing and completing tasks. First option 1, false, option 2, true. Factors in false 57% polarity in the level. First question is civilian, second is Alvis, third is Gillian, fourth is Flomi, fifth is KFI. Our ninth question is studies show how that multitasking usually results in doing the task through optional true, option 2, false. Factors is true 80% people are active in the level. First question is civilian, second is Alvis, third is Gillian, fourth is Flomi, and fifth is KFI. Our last conversation based on multitasking nature can perform multiple tasks at a time. Option 1, precision, option 2, machine control. Hypothesis hypothesis 74% will achieve with first question is million to up to second analysis, third is million, fourth is Ketu, fifth is Canberra, congratulations, million to author. Congratulations to our webinar latest semester top 10. Congratulations on the parents and as well as the ratio on analysis competition. This is a global solution. Congratulations on our webinar online quiz competition at Apple. Congratulations again. We'll take a few minutes to finalize the result. And after that, we'll issue our online quiz competition certificate on our website and official Facebook page Institute Global Professional. At the end of the session, you can say properly figure skill, never stop planning because that never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. You got to live a happy life, try to you, not to people or single button. Before I say or hit the 11 button, once thank all eligible knowledge seekers for your active participation as well as see you in the next session. Thank you.